and I genuinely can't believe I'm being this sensible. The cramp tightness that was there yesterday and it's been there today, it's not easing, it's not getting worse, but it's just constantly there, like a 4 out of 10, just a discomfort. Welcome to a wet and wild North Shropshire. You wouldn't think it's the end of August, but I tell you what, I guarantee this whole marathon peak has been quite miserable weather-wise. You want to get to Berlin, it'll be baking. Peak week, 136k this week planned. So today is a bit of a mad session. 2 times 3 minutes, 3 times 2 minutes, 4 times 1 minute, and then 5 strides, 100-meter strides. Go in the park. Yeah, that's it really. Touch base at the park. At the park now. Surprise, surprise. Everyone's taking shelter. Quietest I've ever seen the park. This is one for the Liverpool fans out there. I'm that wet. I've been thinking of the Jimmy Traore goal. I think it was in like 2005. I remember the game because there was a thing that came out saying that they all had to get changed at half time because of how wet the conditions were and the pitch was. I can't remember who it was against. I feel like it was against someone like Eastern Europe, so like Romania, Serbia, that kind of Baltic region-ish maybe. Could be wrong. I'll put a clip up of the goal anyway because some people might not have seen it. But yeah, 2 laps of the park now, and then we're into it. See you in a bit. The 3-minute reps done. I feel like they may be a little bit quick. Plus splits on screen. Felt okay though. Minute's rest now before going to the 2-minute reps. 3 of them, touch base at the end. But I need to time my lace, so I'm going to time my lace and then we'll get going. Right, the 2-minute one's done. Again, maybe a bit quick. Pace is on the screen. 4 by 1 minutes next. Should be about 300 meters. 60 seconds recovery. Yeah, 4 of these. Whew, touch base after. Yeah, I'll do it after all 4. It's the 1 minute reps done. All the paces here. Definitely ran them too fast. I've run the majority of the session too fast to be fair, but it is what it is. Just the strides to go now. I'll time lapse them. We've got 1 more left, but the camera's down there anyway. Sorry, I'll need to take the camera down anyway, so I'll take it with me. You see it from this point of view. So that's the work done. Bit of a recovery now, and then it's probably going to be 3 laps of the park, and then the jog home to get the 4k cool down. About 13k. Here's all the details, all the splits. But yeah, got a bit of recovery to do now, and then we'll get going. Last one on the cool down, double later with 6k recovery. That's also on screen now, and then we're on to Wednesday. See you in a bit. Welcome to the last day of August. Today is the first day of this entire marathon peak where I've not wanted to run, like genuinely not wanted to run this morning. The fatigue's a bit really setting in now. Like the fatigue during runs has been there, but then when I woke up the morning after, it's not been too bad. I felt tired, but not Like, my legs didn't feel achy or tired this morning. They felt tired, like they felt like the stairs were like, oh god. So I think I'm ready to finish Marathon Peak, but it's good timing because we're nearly there. Today is 5k warm-up, 10k at marathon pace, which admittedly, because of the way it is around here, it's a little bit downhill, but I'm looking for that marathon effort again. So like 170 heart rate, or as close to that as I can, and then getting close to marathon pace with a 3k cool down. But yeah, I'll touch base at the end of my warm-up. See you in a bit. Probably pointing out yesterday I changed it up a little bit, so I done a easy half marathon instead of easy 10 miles, and then done 5k top-ups in the evening on the way to shop to get some milk. That was yesterday, put them on screen, and yeah, now you're up to date. That's the warm-up done. I've had to take a little quick stop just to tie my laces. Feeling rubbing a bit, but yeah, legs are I mean, it sounds obvious, obviously, like on the 4th week of 130k weeks, I'm fatigued, but I've never been like this. Like, you know when you can sort of switch off an easy run sometimes and it just flows. I'm like having to think about my form, my foot strike, like actually think about running easy, like really like concentrate. It shows how tired my legs are. Like, I can feel it. They're not sore, but they're just really heavy. So I'll quickly tie my laces and then we'll get going. Right, we're just through 5k in. I feel okay. I am fatigued. Just trying to tell myself to relax. Right, it's really easy when you're on these marathon paced efforts on fatigue legs that you get all tense. You just need to relax your shoulders and stick to the plan. But here's the paces and the heart rates and elevation for the first 5. I'll touch base after 10. That's the 10k done. Saw the paces. Fairly happy with that, to be honest. Paces, I don't hit the paces on every rep, but I've said this a few times, I don't expect to now. Like, the amount of mileage in my legs over the last 4 weeks, amount of fatigue. As long as I'm in and around that ballpark of 352, I'm okay. And the effort's there. Like, my effort there was what, low 170s, like where I want it to be. Even on the uphill sections, I was disciplined, slowed down a little bit, or didn't chase the pace. If you go chasing the pace now, you're just going to blow yourself up. Like, ultimately, if I go chasing the pace there, I'm not going to gain anything from doing it. Actually, let's just keep it in check. Keep it in marathon race pace, heart rate, and just go from there and see how we get on. But 3k cool down. This is all the details for the session. I've got a double later. This is the details for the double, and I will see you on Sunday for the long run. See you in a bit. Welcome to the last 20 mile out of the block. As you can probably tell from my unexcited voice, I'm not particularly looking forward to this. Just don't feel amazing, to be honest. I feel a bit I don't know, I woke up and I feel I didn't sleep well. My girlfriend's not very well at the minute, so I don't know whether I've got a little bit of that or whether it's just nerves, because it feels like I've got race day belly, even though it's just a training run. But I guess that's a good thing because it's getting me used to it. Yeah, I'm not sure. Don't know. There was a little bit of tightness after yesterday's easy run at the back of my right knee, similar to what I had in my left knee, like before the peak started, but not as severe. Like, just a little bit of tightness. It doesn't feel too bad this morning, just moving about. But if that flares up at any point during this session will change drastically. I won't be chasing paces. I'll just finish it at steady. So if it pops up at any point, I'll finish the session for distance based on steady or easy, just to get the volume in. Yeah, I won't be chasing things now, because ultimately pushing myself to do 10k extra or 5k extra or however many k extra of marathon pace on a leg that's just getting worse with every sort of kilometre, I'm going to have to take time off, and the benefits of doing it are just going to be outweighed by the fact that I'll have to take rest in the first week of the taper. But yeah, it's a weird one today. So 6k easy warm-up, 15k straight through marathon pace. There'll probably be maybe like a 30 seconds drink break when I get back to the bottle. And then it's a 6k steady, 5k marathon pace, and then 6k easy to cool down. It's going to be confusing, but I've got it in my head. I did have a plan that I was going to do the train loop 3 times. I see the train loop, the one that goes across the train track 3 times. But on my easy run yesterday, I ran past the road that I would come out of, and there was roadworks. If I run past that today, I'll put a bit of footage on, but there was roadworks on there, and it looked like they'd only just started. So on the easy warm-up, I'm going to run that way as if it's open, and if it's not, and I'll know for the marathon pace, and I'll have to go the opposite way. Like I say, I'm not feeling amazing this morning. Ultimately, I think a large part of it is my mind is quite, taper time, because it's only, what, 2 more days. And I think my mind and my legs are already in the taper, but I've just got to get this done. So we'll get on the warm-up, and then I'll touch base just before the marathon section bit. So I'll see you in a bit. Yeah, I think we can get past, but I'll show you what I mean. So yeah, this is really good actually, because it's the only bit that I'll have to do on the road. So if I can run past that little tiny gap, happy days. No cars will be down there because the road's completely shut off that way. So that's really good. And there's enough of a gap where I can run through. And again, hopefully, fingers crossed, that they won't be doing any work on it today because it's Sunday. Right, I'm going to finish this warm-up off. I've really been quite slow, so I need to get the paces a little bit higher, get the heart rate a little bit higher. Just ready, because we're going straight into marathon pace after this. See you in a bit. That's all done, first gel done. Yeah, that road is open, so we can, well, say it's open, it's not open, but open for me. I'll sneak past. So now it's 3 5k loops, exactly the same. Yeah, touch base every 5k. Just under 5k and about 40 meters left. These are the paces. Just having a quick drink, get going. I can feel behind the knee, but it's not escalating in pain, it's staying quite consistent. So we'll see how it develops, but yeah, let's have a quick drink and I'm gonna get going. Back in the bottle now, just second 5k done. That's the paces and all the details. I've got that cramp trying to grab me in my right calf, hamstring kind of area, fighting it off. Had more cramp fixing that little block, but I feel okay. Legs feel okay, to be fair. It's just this cramp, I'm like consciously cautious of it. I used to wear calf compression sleeves, but I don't now. I find them uncomfortable, but they work in stopping me getting cramp. So I'll have a quick drink and then we'll get going again for this last 5k. There's the first 15k block done. We had a few drinks breaks, stopped once just to stretch the calf out for cramp. It's the paces for the last 5. That last kilometre particularly, that felt a little bit spicy. The heart rate was all right, the pace wasn't too far off, but I just felt it in my legs. So 6k steady now, which will probably be about 4:25, 4:30 per kilometre. I think that's what, about 7 miles, just over. But yeah, other than the cramp, I feel okay. Just from what I've been remembering, like listening to the splits and looking at them, I'm really happy with that. Like there was a point then in that 5k when I was like 160s, high 160s. More than happy with that. But we'll have a quick drink and then 6k steady. I'll touch base at the end of that. Right, that's the steady 6k done. And I genuinely can't believe I'm being this sensible. The cramp tightness that was there yesterday and it's been there today, it's not easing, it's not getting worse, but it's just constantly there, like a 4 out of 10, just at discomfort. My fitness is in a great place. I was thinking about this the whole way around on that 6k steady. Like I was running 4:30s, 4:20s, like 140 heart rate or mid 140s. That's stupidly good for me. So ultimately, I'm not willing to risk Berlin on an extra 5k of marathon pace just to prove to myself that I can do it. I got really good 15k of work in that run. Really happy with the paces, really happy with the heart rate. I know my fitness is in a good place. It's the best place it's going to be. An extra 5k now isn't going to change that. So ultimately, I'm not going to do 38k on the run. I'm not going to do the extra 5k marathon pace and 6k cool down. I'm just going to go on a really easy 5k cool down, end the run on 32.2k, 20 miles. The week will be what, 132k. An extra 6k is not going to change that, and I really want to be sensible now. And then we'll start looking after the calf. The taper may start a few days early. There may not be a double threshold day on Tuesday, but again, ultimately, the hay's in the barn, as they say now. I'm not going to get much fitter by doing what, an extra 5k and a double threshold day on Tuesday. The double threshold day is usually more like a mental thing for me. Yeah, I'm not going to push it. We'll get in, we'll see how, we'll rest up, probably take a rest day tomorrow or a very gentle recovery run, and just see how it is. Because like I say, the last thing I want to do now is blow Berlin up by pushing it too hard, trying to prove to myself. And I'll be honest, trying to, you know, this is the first marathon block I've really done where more than just my friends are following it. Like, you lot are all following it, obviously, and there's people that are on Strava that may not follow me on YouTube that are following it. There is a little bit of wanting to prove to you guys that I can do it kind of thing, and I need to get out of that and get into my head of what's actually best for me and best for the chances of doing a 2:45 in Berlin. And I think it's just taking it a bit easy now. I've done the hard work. I've run more than I ever have done the last 4 weeks, and I've got through it with no injuries. This is the first sign of any injury in the last 4 weeks. Considering, you know, I thought this whole plan was going to be an absolute, let's face it, shit show when I'd done my left leg a couple, like what, 6 weeks ago, and I couldn't run for a week. I thought this is just going to be on and off injuries, and it's not. So I'm really happy, but I'm just going to do a 5k cool down now and then just call it there for the week. Really happy with what I've got today, the 15k, continuous with maybe 30 seconds break in between. So yeah, quick drink and then we'll do the cool down. Yeah. So there we go, 32.2k, 20 miles done. Yeah, just like I said, I wasn't willing to risk any real good performance at Berlin on an extra 6k in a long run marathon pace. I mentioned a few videos ago about marathon training and it being such a weird conundrum where your body will be screaming at you to stop, but a lot of the time it's just tiredness. So you're pushing yourself and pushing yourself and pushing yourself, and your body is constantly going, I need a rest, I need a rest, I need a rest, but not because it's injured, because it's tired. And you have to be so in tune with your body, and you have to listen to it. My body for weeks has been screaming at me, saying it's been tired and it's been fatigued, and I've put that, and people have said, oh, take rest days, but that's what you want. You want to get to that point of fatigue where your body is tired and you run on tired legs. What you don't want to do is when your body says, actually, this is hurting a little bit, you don't want to run on that. You've got to be so disciplined in one way, is when your body says, I'm not tired now, this is actually hurting a little bit, you need to just back off. You can push your body to its absolute limits, and I have in the last 4 weeks. I've pushed my body to the absolute limits. But when this is the first time, well, yesterday was the first time my body went, this might be hurting a bit too much now. And today it didn't. It arrived sort of like about 13k into the 15k marathon bit. So what, about 20k into the run, and that was when I knew, look, is it really worth pushing now when the hard work's done? The last 4 weeks of Marathon Peak, the last 10 weeks of the whole plan, well, 12 weeks if you include like the bit before that. I ain't wasting 12 weeks of really good solid training on 6k on what, 24 minutes, 23 minutes. It's not worth it. So that's what I'm doing, cutting it at 32.2. I think that's a sensible decision. I think it's the right decision. This was the details for the run. I'll put all the splits up, and yeah, I will probably touch base in the office. I don't know whether we'll have to wait and see how the calf feels, whether or not we continue with the next 2 days of peak training, or whether we call it there and start the taper. I'll have to see how the calf is tomorrow. But yeah, or the calf knee. I don't think it's injured. I think I've stopped just in time. I think if I pushed, it probably would have been an injury, but I feel like just a little bit of rest, looking after it for a day or two, and we'll be back up and running in the taper. So yeah, other than that, see you later.